loves. It's your girl Lulu, the reflection of you that loves you, so I hope you love you too. Today's little video, I am just going to really just talk about what it really is when it comes to healing trauma wounds. And one of the main trauma wounds right now that I'm working towards healing completely, and I can gladly say I'm finally making some progress, is the inner teen. Now, I do have a video that went viral on my TikTok that a lot of people resonate with, and I just felt as though that I needed to give like a little bit more in depth of what I think of or what I do as far as the healing process when it comes to healing the inner teen. And basically what that is just healing the parts of ourselves that we couldn't really understand nor tap into because maybe the people around us also didn't know or weren't healed enough to assist us in the ways of healing that we needed to, which is why some form of trauma, whether it be physically, mentally, or emotionally, can be trapped within us. Especially for women, we trap a lot of our trauma within our womb space, which is also connected to, I believe, our root chakra, which is really, really deep and grounded within how we present ourselves or how we feel about ourselves or how we understand ourselves and basically who we are all together. So the moment I began to start that healing journey, because I've officially healed my, I finally healed my inner child. And I was shocked to see that a whole lot of people didn't know that there were processes. But I mean, for some, it's not a process. Like maybe you had an amazing childhood, but your teen years were shit. Or maybe you had a shit childhood, but your teen years was amazing. So it really just depends. But for the sake of this video, this guide-like advice, Healing in Progress, episode 1, would be about healing the inner teen and what we can do to do some deep diving and healing what we need to in order to fully be authentic and be ourselves in the way that we need to be. Okay. The way I see it, I think of it as an acronym, and I said this on my TikTok video. I believe it's like, for me, in order to internalize it and understand it more, is I use an acronym. It's called Triggers Involving Emotional Notes. And basically what that is just that we tend to hold in a lot of trauma, and those triggers that occur into our lives as adults can happen and pop up to where we end up acting in our teenage self. So that can come up in relationships, it can come up in just you, for some people like myself, parenting your kids. It could come up just out of it really can come up randomly, even in just speaking to anybody in casual conversation. Your teen self, the moment you feel triggered by something that happened to you as a teen, will, pop up in gotcha bitch type stuff. So triggers involving emotional notes is where all of the emotional trauma that we stored within ourselves as a teen is locked away, where we locked away to where we never see it again. And basically it's like the way things present itself, or how you know it's time to heal that part of you, is when something in your adult life triggers something within you that your teen self has kept locked away or kept inside. It's like a little note, like how you keep mental notes, like someone tells you that you see something like, oh, I have to go get this at the store. You leave a mental note, so when you go into the store and you see it, you're like, oh, now I remember to get that, and you pick it up. It's basically how I see the triggers and traumas and emotional notes that we keep within ourselves, like our teenage self that we haven't fully healed or haven't fully sat down with, like some have done with their inner child. Something triggers them in a relationship, or something triggers them by their parents while they are adult, and that it could be similar to the same thing that we went through as a teen, and therefore we act in that therefore we react in that teen way, therefore we act childish, because we are still from the way it is, the way our nervous systems are set up, we remember everything. Now, one of the ways that we can begin to heal these parts of ourselves, especially our inner teens that are now showing up within our adult lives, that are now causing issues and problems within our relationships, within our career paths, within just us being ourselves to the fullest, because we felt as though as teenagers we couldn't be or express ourselves how we needed to, or we didn't really have the support system, or we didn't really feel comfortable, or we weren't safe enough to express how we were really feeling or say, or just that. So basically the beginning process of healing all of that is the small things. Like, I started off with my personal experience, I started off doing the things that teen me loved to do. I love to draw. I love to read. And then getting back into those made me realize just how much I wasn't doing those things anymore. Like, I noticed, like, as I got older, and of course I had my 2 children, I was just like, the things that I love to do, my hobbies that I love to do, I wasn't doing them anymore. So the first thing that I got back into was drawing a picture. I started painting a little bit. I started reading books. I got my library card again, and I just remembered walking into the library and remember smelling the smell of freaking books, and I was just like, I automatically, a part of me was healed just by walking into that library and being able to pick up a freaking book and read it again. So, and like read a full chapter book again. So it's because it's been a long time. It's been a long time since I read a physical chapter book. But after doing that, I was just like, wow. And it brought back so many memories of how I used to love reading. Like, I used to always have my freaking head in the book. And then it made me remember when I first downloaded Wattpad and all that other good stuff, which brought back so many happy memories, which also allowed me to heal some parts of that as well. Like, so another thing that you can do to heal these triggers that we keep as emotional notes is give yourself things as an adult that your teenage self couldn't get, or you couldn't afford, or your parents didn't get you, or whatever the case may be. Get yourself those things. Like, one of my things for sure was, I don't really remember what it was that I used to give myself as a teenager, so it's not like what the fuck did I buy, but it was really like mostly like accessories. Like, I didn't really have a lot of accessories growing up, so as far as like jewelries and stuff like that, I always wanted my nails done, so I bought, like, Elora went through a phase, adult Elora went through a phase of being in her inner teen and healing that part to where I wanted to buy every single press-on nail that I could find, and every single accessory that I could find, because I didn't really have a whole lot of earrings, a whole lot of jewelry, a whole lot of necklaces and bracelets and stuff like that. So I really wanted accessories. And then another thing is, when you're going through those inner teen phases and you're healing those parts of yourself, is to make sure that you continue to give yourself grace. Continue to nurture yourself as best as you can, because some people don't understand that it's literally us reparenting ourselves. We are going within our bodies and imagining our teen self and giving them the things that they needed in the time that no one else could give it to us. So it's really about, full acceptance. You have to be able to accept that teen you was either a scaredy cat, or B, a horrible person at some way, shape, or form. Because I know for myself, I was not always the best. I was not always the nicest. I wasn't always the kindest. I've done a lot of things that adult me now regrets, and I'm still also healing those things as well. But it's really about showing yourself grace and continuing to show up for yourself, continuing to be like, okay, what I did is what I did. I'm moving forward from that. Now, how can I heal from it? And most of that starts with us, for most of us, as a teenager. Like, as teenagers, we were little shits. For some of us, as teenagers, we were little shits. So, and I feel like that damages us so much when we hold on to that. So, giving yourself grace when it comes to healing your teenage self, and being okay with whatever comes up. Because one thing about this healing journey and full self-acceptance to where you can continue or try to thrive being your authentic self, you have to be able to dig deep. And if you begin to dig deep and it gets scary because a whole lot of things that you shoved down so long ago begins to pop up, you still have to push through and thrive through that. Also, forgive me if I'm all over the place when it comes to explaining this. I hope I'm explaining it the best way I can. But the next step after you realize and you figured out what it is that you need to heal, or what is the things that are beginning to pop up in your life that is hindering you from being the whole authentic you that you are, being the best you that you want to be, as well as not only for yourself but for your kids, for your relationships. If you have kids or you're in a relationship, it's really important, because those things will come up. Those things will literally trigger you. It will literally trigger you. Especially your relationships will trigger you to heal some things. Your kids, if you have kids, will trigger you to heal some things. Even your jobs will trigger you to heal some things. Even just going out in public and just something random happens will trigger you. And that's when you have to be so self-aware to be able to be like, okay, I need to fix this. Because a whole lot of times we operate in spaces and places that are not good, and it's simply because we have some unhealed trauma within ourselves. So it's really important for us to be like, we got to lock in. And me being 24 or going on 25, holy shit, it made me realize that I am acting childish, and it not only was it making me realize that I was acting childish, it made me realize that teen you was childish. And then that's when you have to really do some deep diving and be like, okay, well, why was teen you acting childish? What did teen you need to fully understand what was going on around you for you to act like this? And then once you are able to pull back those layers and finally see that, oh, this happened because X, Y, and Z, and this happened because X, Y, and Z. Now, what can I give myself? How can I reparent myself? How can I mother myself? How can I father myself? How can I give myself the things that I needed as a teen right now in order to heal those things? Because what people don't understand, like a whole lot of people believe that once you grow out of that age, then you're growing out of it. Like you'll grow out of it. Like you don't really grow out of it, really. I feel like if it's something that's really, really important and really, really serious and it's embedded in you, you don't grow out of it. It grows with you. It literally will grow with you. And no matter how many times you think that, oh, that was the old me, that was the old age me, something is going to pop up to let you know, like, we're still here. You're still having these rage outbursts. You still are shutting down. You're still completely shutting down and not responding to how you need to respond in ways. You're cussing people out. You're throwing fits. You're having tantrums. You're completely isolating yourself. You're having these negative thoughts and not realizing that all of those things are just coming from parts of you that have not fully healed. You have not been shown or taught how to regulate those feelings and emotions. And then now when you become an adult, they're showing themselves again. And most of us continue just to operate in those things. But I'm here to tell you that if you are interested in healing your inner teen and this video comes across your page, then that definitely means for you it is time to heal your inner teen, because in some way, shape, or form, the algorithm has brought you here to let you know that something needs healing, something needs fixing. And I'm going to try my best to give as much godlike advice as I can. I also do divination and do tarot, so if you are interested in those things, I can pull back more layers for you if you really can't pinpoint it yourself. But I really hope in some way, shape, or form this video has helped. I'm sorry again if I'm all over the place. I don't really do these sit down and talk videos. But as always, I love you guys, and I will see you in the next video.